And this is the Yom Yom for today and God willing for tomorrow. The Alter Rebbe, these are sayings by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. The first Rebbe of Chabad, he repeated what his teacher, the Maggid of Mezrich, said. And the Maggid of Mezrich was quoting his teacher, who was the Baal Shem Tov. And he said, love your fellow as yourself. This is an interpretation and a commentary on loving God. In other words, loving God is the essence of the Torah. You don't love God, so why do his Torah? You're doing it because maybe God will punish me. Maybe God exists. So it's not really, okay, it's good, but that's not, you haven't got the point. The point is to feel how good God is, how amazingly real God is, how amazing God loves us. He creates us, loving you. So you say, okay, good. I got the point. God creates me. I love him. I will learn his Torah. Says, okay, you want to love God? Yes, I do. I love God. Don't interrupt me. I'm loving God. It says, 1 second. If you love God means you're going to love every Jew like yourself. And from that, it comes to love everybody, but loving a Jew because he's your brother, right? I say love begins at home. So if you love God, it means how can you express this love? How can you come to the details? Is by loving every Jew. Loving every Jew is an interpretation of and a commentary on loving God. Loving God, that's the title. And one of the subtitles is loving every Jew. A person who loves his fellow Jew loves God because every Jew has inside of him a part of God from above. In other words, every Jew is like a holy temple. So it's like saying, I love God, but I hate the holy temple. I don't like it. The ground is hot over there. You got to go up on this mountain. I don't want to go up. So it's a sign you don't love God. You don't want the holy temple. It's the same thing with every Jew. Every Jew is a little holy temple. He's got a part of the essence of God. Every Jew is a son of God. You don't love every Jew. You don't see this little part of God inside. So it means that you don't love God at all. Therefore, when one loves a fellow Jew, then his inner essence, namely the inner essence of a Jew, so you love God. So loving every Jew doesn't mean you have to loan everybody money. And I mean, there's a lot of Jews that are, externally, definitely, you have to keep away from them, right? You have to keep away from them. There are Jews that are not, how do you say, good examples of a Jew. There's Jews that are into politics, they're into criminals, they're this, they're dangerous. Okay, but what does it mean? It means that good, all that stuff is a veneer. That's the external. But internal, the Jew is, first of all, is a human being. And therefore, there's a redeeming factor in every human being. But in a Jew, there's even deeper than the fact that he's a human being. That's called the natural soul, which the natural soul is always good. The natural soul. There's also the godly soul. And that's godly. That's a different type of good. That's the good that's talked about in the Tanya. And that good exists in every single Jew. And that you have to search out and find. And if you don't find, you have to at least believe that it's there. And that's what it means to love every Jew. That is today. Now, tomorrow. Not easy to do. Easier said than done. It says when you learn the Torah, and when you Shema Yisrael, it says you should say these words when you're walking on the road and when you're sitting down. The rabbis say speak of them refers to all the words of the Torah. You should say words of Torah when you're. It says when you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night. Okay, so this refers to several things. It refers to saying Shema Yisrael. You're supposed to say Shema Yisrael in the morning and in the evening. But it also means when you speak of them, you're supposed to say the words of Torah all the time. Torah study, there's many levels of this and facets of learning the Torah. And here we explain. It says, when you're at home, it says, B'shivtecha b'vetecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shachbecha, u'v'komecha. It says you should say the word, that's in Shema Yisrael. We'll read this week. And you should say the words of Torah when you're sitting at home, when you're walking on the way, when you lie down, and when you raise up. Chassidut explains, when you sit at home is referred to the soul occupying with the Torah before it comes into the world. The Torah was learning the Torah. The soul was learning the Torah. It says that that's why people have a cleft over here. Jews have a cleft. Everybody does, but the Jews have a cleft over here because The soul is taught the whole Torah, and before it comes into the world, God hits it over here and makes it forget the Torah. So, but before it comes into the world, that's when it's sitting at home in the house of souls, it's learning the Torah. When you go on the way, this refers to after a person is born. You're in the world, you go from level to level in this world until it comes into the world in a physical body. And then the Torah starts living the challenges and the opportunities of this world until he's 120 years old. And then that's the next thing. When you lay down means when a person's time comes, I mean, you probably have how do you say, realized that everybody dies, right? True, we're not dead, and we're doing pretty good up to now. But, all the people that are dead also thought that. So eventually, everybody dies. We only have a certain amount of time. Good.
Only in Galus.
When you die, though, is your soul doesn't die. Your soul doesn't die. It says the person's body dies, and then the soul, when it goes through all these different changes or whatever, and you're the same person as you were before, but all the negative and meaningless things, they all fall down. It still is like stripped down to its basic, take all the dirt off of it. It becomes more essential. But nevertheless, it says when a person passes away, then the Torah that he learned protected him. Like it says in the 6th chapter of Pirkei Avot, until it says when you raise up doesn't mean just when you wake up in the morning. It means when you raise up, this is going to be, when you raise up, this will be in the raising of the dead. When you awaken, this is going to be in the raising of the dead, that people will also learn the Torah. This is talking when the dead will come to life when you raise up. So here's the Chassidut gives a totally different, deeper meaning. It says the simple meaning is you should say the words of Torah when you're sitting in your home, when you walk on the road, right? When you're walking on the road, or when you're in your business or whatever on your way. In the evening, when you're all tired to go lay down, and in the morning, the first thing when you wake up, you should say words of Torah. You should say Mode Ani. That's the simple meaning. But the deeper meaning is when you sit at home means before you're born. The soul before it's born learns Torah. After the soul is born, until you die, you learn Torah. When a person dies, the Torah protects him. And when the soul raises up in the raising of the dead, it's also the Torah. And now let us